Hey guys, welcome Musky Road Rules Podcast. This segment is brought to you by Thorn Brothers. Guys, you ever need some new stuff for musky fishing? Why don't you check out Thorn Brothers at thornbros.com. If you need anything from lures to reels to electronics to rods to just gear in general. Also, they got the fly shop there. All kinds of stuff there, right there in Minneapolis, Minnesota, right there in the Twin Cities. Why don't you check that out? Go to thornbros.com. They've got pretty much everything you're going to need for this year while you're on the water. Guys, this is the number 222nd of these podcasts that we're doing, and we appreciate you all for listening. And also, why don't you text us on our text line at 606-776-6570. It's a Lungin Lures text line, 606-776-6570, Lungin Lures, lunginlures.com, makers of some of the finest quality crankbaits that you're going to find out there, the shad baits, and also all of their spinners. I'm your host, Greg Thomas, and on this show today, we got two people. We got Kurt Hansen from Thorn Brothers and Chase Gibson from Musky Buster now. How you guys doing?
Good.
Bumper.
How are you doing, Greg?
Bumper, my bad, not Buster. Bumper.
Musky Bumper. Not doing the lure business, Greg.
You're not doing liberate yet. Yeah, you're young. You're in the rise. You got Eye of the Tiger. You're set and ready to go. Well, let's start off with that. Chase, you picked up and took over Musky Bumper at the first of the year. First off, why? And second off, congratulations.
Thank you, Greg. I was just looking for something a little bit more stable. I've always kind of had the idea of moving on from guiding and becoming more stable in the industry, so to speak.
See, I've never done that. Stability has never been a good thing for me.
Right.
I've never
He's
been known.
already more of an adult than you are, Greg.
That's fine. And I'm proud of him.
Yeah, good. That's a good thing.
It's a good thing. Yes. Stability and me have never been simpatico. So now you, for guys that don't know, which I'm sure there's not many that don't, tell them what Musky Bumper is.
So Musky Bumper is a bump board company. We make really any bump board you can imagine. Jeremy had it for, I think, like 5 or 6 years. Jeremy did a great job with the whole company. I really believe that his product, now my product, is the best on the market. We're making musky boards. We're making walleye boards, crappie boards. Have done customs for sturgeons. Getting a lot of guys messaging me right now about catfish boards. So that might be something in the works. Very light, very durable. Got a very unique hinge system to them that hold up well. And I know from years of me using bump boards, I've broke just about every one of them, and Musky Bumper definitely seems to hold up the best. So that's what we are.
And they float too, right?
Yes.
That's
course,
the big thing for me, is that they
Yep.
float, because I have a tendency to drop everything in the lake. And so that's good. Now, the one thing about me, now bump boards have been around, man, when did bump boards get started? Kurt, I remember I started out with a Stanley ruler. The
old floating stick.
The floating stick, yep.
BT measuring stick.
I still have a floating stick, or the sewing tape. I've used the sewing tape in the boat, but my first one was just an old Stanley tape measure, and you just lay them on the carpet and just don't move. Sit there and just yell at the fish not to move, and there you go.
I remember one of the first bump boards I ever saw was like a cool cedar wood one that Ty Sennett made for Luke.
I was gonna say, I think that's the first one that I think that's the first
and
one.
I can't remember, those might have been in production. He might have been selling those, but that's 25 years ago now, right? Like,
yeah, they had a handle. Does your bunk board have a handle, Chase?
Yep, it does.
They do. I can answer that for them.
Oh my
We sell
God.
those, lots of them. That's the store.
You're innovative, Chase. Just let me tell you. I tell you what I like. I like the bump boards, but my favorite one that you guys make is one that I talked to. I don't know if it was Jeremy or even the original guys, because you're third owner, aren't you, Chase?
Yep.
Yeah.
Third owner.
Is the one they call the I say they, now I need to call you, now I need to say you, is the bump and go. And
Yep.
you're still doing that one?
For sure. Yep.
All right, now I'm going to put my case here for why I like that one. The reason is it's skinny. There's no back on it, and what I like about it is that you can hide it in the boat, and it'll fit in the compartments better. And I just really like the slim and kind of cool design of it. Do you sell many of those?
I believe it's not one of the strongest products, but I honestly, I've never had one. And then after acquiring the business and making them, I'm kind of thinking about leaning more toward them for my riverboat for sure. Just like you said, they're small. They're real small. They don't have the back on it, so they can fit in like any slot or anything you have in your boat. I think it's a really good option for guys that do fish out of just say a canoe, a john boat, or any boat you want. But they're very, very small and sleek, so they're definitely a good option for a smaller boat for sure.
Yeah, and I like the fact that you're making bump boards now that are right and left-handed, right?
Yep.
See, that's a big thing. That was something. Now I remember that was something that they never did. That before, I think Musky Bumper might have been the first one to do it. I'm not for sure, but there was no right or left-handed bump boards. It was always just a left-handed bump board or a right-handed bump board, and nobody got to really choose. And it makes a big difference if you're in the boat and somebody is left-handed. And their left hand is their dominant hand. They pull the fish up from that. If they've got a right-handed board, then they have to reach. It's hard to get a good measurement on that fish.
You get the awkward crisscross arms on them.
Yeah, and that's another reason why I like that bump and go, because it doesn't matter if you're right or left-handed. You just move the board around. So that's the reason I like that. Do you notice the difference? And Kurt, you might know this too with Thorns. Do you see that you sell one more than the other?
Over time, the numbers definitely seem more so right. I believe last year was more so left, though, in the musky stuff. Now, walleye boards, it is 100% left-hand dominant by far. Everyone that orders a walleye board is, I would say, 95% of the time it's a left-handed walleye board.
Cool. Kurt, do you notice in the store, or do people even know?
Well, there is that. People even know, right? But I would say that, Chase, like you said, over time, it just maybe you're selling 60-40 one year and then 60-40 the other way the next year. It's about 50-50. I would have guessed that rights would have been the dominant seller just because there's more right-handed people, but it definitely is not the case.
Well, Brad brought up a good point. We were talking about it. He was talking about how the old boats back in the day and the sticker measurements, they were always left-handed stickers.
Oh, okay. So that's why that's why some people hold their fish left-handed even though they're right-handed.
Yeah, and then that's why he thinks the walleye guys are so big on having left-handed boards, because they generally don't have a bump board for walleyes, and that's starting to become a thing now. But they're just so used to measuring them, the head of the fish left to right, So I think that's why they're more toward the left-handed boards.
I always just ask my clients when they go to pull the fish out of the net, which hand do they masturbate with? So that's their strong hand. So that's the one we're going to go with.
It gets them off their game a little bit that way, too.
Exactly. I like to diffuse the situation.
Yeah, they're less worried about the fish and more worried about their fishing guide at that
point. Yes.
They know what they're getting themselves into, and they step in the boat with you, Greg.
Yes. Disappointment, usually.
Yeah.
It's well, that's cool. I'm glad you got to pick that up. Was it how's the transition been? I mean, are you were you overwhelmed, or has it been moving pretty smoothly for you?
At first I was a little worried about space, because it's just me now. I'm the only one making them and stickering them and everything. I I was a little worried about space, but I ended up getting it to fit in my garage here where I used to keep my boat. The boat's not around me. I have to drive to hook my boat up now, which is a terrible thing. But
Yeah.
it's in the house now, and other than that, it's been pretty smooth sailing. And now that I'm fully operational, I'm getting it done. I'm not getting to fish as much as I was hoping to, but then I knew that getting into it. So I'm super excited with it for sure.
Yeah. So on the one thing too that you do with the Musky bumper is that you'll make like custom boards and stuff. People can put their logos on it, or you know that. Do you print those right there at your house, or do you have to have that sent off to be printed?
I have to have it sent off to be printed. So the custom logo thing, I can pretty much do any logo that you send to me. I believe the JPEG is the best for the resolution and whatnot.
Not like a stick figure drawing by hand.
Yeah, that's not usually the best way.
Out of charcoal.
Yeah. I'm pretty good freehand drawer, though.
Oh, I'm sure.
But anyways, you would have to, I have it on my website now. If you want a custom, you can order your custom board right there on the website, left, right, whatever board you're wanting. It'll take a little bit longer. I have to order your logo for the sticker, and that will be printed right on the board. So it's not just your logo as a sticker. It's all in one piece of vinyl. So I can do that. It does take a little bit longer, but I usually get vinyl in a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Okay. Well, that's cool. Did you change the website at all, or did you just keep the same website that he had?
No, it's the same website, muskybumper.com.
And
but
that's with an IE, right?
Yep, with an IE.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll come up both ways, though.
Yeah. No, I'm looking at it right now. It looks good. Is there any? So, how much is it extra for a custom logo?
$40.
$40 extra for custom logos. Well, there you go. Musky Bumper Junior. Now that's more my size board right there. What is that?
Yep. That is the panfish board for your crappies and your bluegills.
Oh.
Or
what?
Or your muskies.
Oh, nice. There we go. What is that? How big does it go out to?
16 inches.
Perfect. I didn't even know you guys did that. Well, that's cool there. And Kurt, I'm assuming you guys sell plenty of these?
Yes, we sell tons of those. And honestly, that's the only musky bump board that we carry.
Nice.
So there's not really a need for an alternative. It's a great product. Jeremy was awesome to work with. Chase is awesome to work with.
Wait, it's early. Chase
is going to be
like
he's going to start talking to you, Greg, and then it's all going to go down.
He's going to turn into one of those big fat cats with a cigar, leaning back, petting a white fur cat, probably with a monocle.
Describing Tony.
Yes. And just demanding stuff, and
we'll get a couple good years though before he gets to that point, right?
Yeah, I think it'll take him a little bit, but when he gets there, whoo-hoo, oh boy,
look out, right?
Look out! It's gonna be fun. I'll just be sitting over here eating something out of a can and yelling. So that sounds about right. Well, let me see. Oh, do you sell any of the walleye boards, Kurt? I've never seen the walleye boards.
We don't. No.
Well, get on it. Put an order in right now. God damn it, Jesus.
Yeah. Well, immediately start yelling at John Nelson, the buyer. Right away on Monday, as soon as I see him. Or actually, I won't see him Monday. Week from Monday, I'll start yelling at him.
That's exactly what I would do. Thus, why I don't do anything. It's Chase, it's a great product. It's something that I've used forever. And I will also say that they're pretty darn tough because I've had my bump and go. Well, I don't remember the last time I got one, so that means I've had it a while.
Right.
That means at least I've had it for 3 months. So they do last. I will say that. These things last. The fact that they float, I love that. I don't like any fishing product that doesn't float because that means I need to buy a gross of them because I usually lose stuff over the side. I think it's definitely something that's going to be cool for you. I think it's a great investment. I think it's something you're going to do really, really well with. It's just when I talk to you later in the year, and I'm going to ask you, well, what was it like to fish?
I hope I can give you a really not a good answer to that. I hope I can just say, oh, it's great to fish every day still.
Oh, you're cute. Well, Kurt, we got Thorne Brothers here. We got the sports shows are getting ready to happen. They are. The Chicago Musky Show, which is coming up. It's going to be at the Kane County Fairgrounds on January 20th, 21st, and 22nd in St. Charles, Illinois. Guys, go to Musky Expo, Musky with an I-E, expo.com, and I think all of us are going to be there. You're going to be there, aren't you, Chase?
Yep, yeah, I'll be there, and I'll be bringing Kurt his order of muskie bumpers, so he will be fully stocked on muskie bumpers at the Chicago show.
We will be ready to rock and roll.
Nice. So, Kurt, you're going to be there. You're bringing the store. How much stuff you bringing?
We are. I think we're 120 feet.
Ugh.
I want to say this year. So, Greg, you're going to help us set up, tear down, per usual.
I think some people call that a fathom. But no. Am I going to help? No. You're
gonna walk by and have a smart comment, and then go to dinner.
I'll bring a Mexican. I'll bring some Mexicans, and we can just get them going.
No, I actually this year. So I have to go. I leave Sunday to Japan to meet with Daiwa.
Jesus.
For whatever. Obviously, Daiwa makes reels and rods. So kind of a corporate meeting deal there. So this will be the first Chicago Muskie show that I miss in a very, very, very long time.
My
so
word.
I'm kind of going through withdrawals. I'm very worried about my kids who are going there without me, but I have great faith in them. They're going to be just fine.
You're going to Japan for Daiwa.
Yes.
Let's talk about that, because now that's the story.
I don't know about that. It's not really. You can fly to another country, sit in the boardroom, listen to corporate mumbo jumbo, talk about markets, that type of thing.
What do they what do they got going on?
So it's basically they'll bring every once in a while they bring dealers over there, and we sell a lot of Daiwa stuff, right? So we're a big dealer for them, and then they'll have Daiwa USA and Daiwa Japan, just like Shimano USA and Shimano Japan are. They're the same company, but they're not. So there's always, communication things. So they like to bring people from their markets and from specific markets or have specific products. Like for us, it'd be a lot of musky reels, right? Over to Japan when they can, just so that we can talk kind of to the product and to what people need. And, musky fishing is something that's growing, and it's always been small in the grand scheme of fishing, but it's something that's growing. So companies pay more attention to it. So they like to hear kind of like why we need certain things in a reel, or a rod. So kind of talk to that. And then we sell, we're a full service fishing store. So we do a lot of ice business. We do a lot of bass business. We do a lot of musky business too. So they'll have, other questions about those types of things too.
So when you go into the boardroom, do you have to take your shoes off?
That I don't know.
Oh God. Well, find that out, because you don't want to be rude.
No, you don't want to be rude.
Have you been practicing?
I feel like this is one of those scenarios where you just can't be the first person in the room, and you just follow suit with whatever's going on in front of you.
Exactly. And then make sure that, have you been doing like low back exercises to like do the bowing? Because I just picture a lot of bowing.
Yeah, a lot of bowing. A lot of, very formal. Very formal.
It sounds like. Well, that's exciting. You ever been to Japan?
I have never been. This will be my first time to the Far East. I
have never been either. I have so many things. When I think of Japan, I just think of The Hangover. That's what I think of. But I'm sure that's probably not going to be your experience there. But I'm pretty sure.
I certainly hope that it is not.
I'm sure it would.
Probably rock a Mike Tyson tattoo pretty good.
Yeah. Yeah, I would certainly be remembered from the shows. That's for certain. Yeah, I bought it from the guy with the face tattoo.
You know what? I've been watching a lot of true crime dramas here lately, and you'd be surprised at how many people have those.
You'd be surprised how many really successful people have face tattoos.
Well, Greg, you got your teardrop removed, didn't you?
I did. Now it's just I just tell people that it's I had a skin cancer burn off, but it was actually a teardrop.
Right.
That no face tattoos, and I've seen some doozy up in the. It's kind of wild because in the angle there's a couple face tattoos, and I just got back from there. I was up in the northwest angle for the last 2 weeks getting the place ready up there for my new summer venture, and it was nice. I did a seminar in Chicago at the Fox River Valley Musky Club on Wednesday. Wait, today's Friday, Wednesday night, and it was the first time I'd been above freezing in 3 weeks, and it looked like I was lactating. I had boob sweat while I was doing the seminar. It was pretty funny.
I don't feel bad for you at all, Greg. I feel like we've been either under 2 feet of snow up here or negative 100 for the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, it's weird. You know what was weird though up at the angle is we didn't get any there is snow on the ground, but I was there from the 28th of December till literally Tuesday of this week, and it did not snow one day.
Really?
Yeah, the snow just
must have been all south of you.
It did.
Boy, do we have snow in Minnesota.
Oh yeah, no, it did. I know. Talking to Brad, I had to stop at his place in Miltona there at Muskie Mayhem to grab the trailer or to grab my stuff to bring it home, and they had a ton of snow. I mean, just a ton there in Miltona, Parker's Prairie, Detroit Lakes, but it never came north. I mean, the snow that we had, it was. They didn't get it. Now it was cold. I mean, we had several nights below freezing or below zero. But it was really a wild little scene up there that they never did get snow, which I thought was kind of surprising. But we did go out on the ice road, and drove to the islands. My mom and sister came up, and we were driving out to Sunset Lodge out on one of the islands there, and I told them, and as we're going there, I felt I didn't tell my mom we were actually on an ice road until we were halfway there, and I go, and she starts going, she goes, "There's all kinds of little hills out here." Well, those are called islands. She did not like driving on the ice road.
Was that the first time she'd ever been on the ice?
Oh yes, my mom's from Eastern Kentucky. There's no ice roads here.
And you didn't even tell her you were bringing her out there?
No, why would I do that?
That's hilarious.
No, why would I do that? You gotta know how to play the cards you're dealt. So
especially when you're not dealt very many, right?
Exactly, especially when you're playing 21, because it's a low game. Well, Kurt, let's talk here a little bit. We're talking about the Muskie Show that's coming up. You're not going to be there, but I want to talk about new stuff. Let's talk about new baits, new reels, new electronics, new rods. Let's get into it. What kind of new baits are you going to have at the Thorne Brothers booth while you're there?
So we have for new baits this year, we got the new Mayhem has got a smaller version of the grenade. So we got that stuff in. And then we got a bunch, some new custom colors and existing lures, but just kind of some new, facelifts, new colors on that. From them, Musky Frenzy, they have an IC12. It's a new size of bucktail. The IC10s and 9s have been real good. So we'll have that stuff there. Trying to think of other new stuff. We'll have lots of new colors. A great assortment of baits. Great deal on that stuff as always. New electronics. Electronics are pretty similar. One new thing is Garmin has got, Garmin now has 3 live scope producers. They got a 32, a 34, and then a 62. The 62 is their newest model. It came out kind of towards the end of the year, but it's maybe a little bit clearer and you can shoot a little bit farther with it. So that's new. And there's different bundles and packs and stuff we can do there. And electronics will be a little bit more available this year. Mm-hmm. So we have a better selection of them for the shows. I don't I don't think that that's going to stay for the entire season. I think we kind of have what we have right now. But there is stuff available right now, so people need to get stuff. It's a good time to get it. Because like I said, I don't know how available it's going to be later on in the year, just with the last couple of years of supply chain there.
Mm-hmm.
And then as far as rods and reels, we actually have a new series of rods out now.
Well, that's what I heard about. You guys have a new rod series. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, so we call it our Stealth series. Basically, it's an imported blank from a trusted manufacturer that we've worked with in the past. There are specs, so it's a solid 10-foot blank. There's no telescope, no two-piece, no extension, nothing. It's just a solid 10-foot blank, so it makes it a little bit easier for us to make 10-foot rods. And it makes that process, and so we can offer it at basically a standard 10-foot option is $400 to $450. So it's a nice price point. In complement to our Predator series, which has always been at SC4 St. Croix, always been our top of the line, still our top of the line blank. Obviously more expensive, 10-footer there. We do have to do an extension piece, so that changes things a little bit, and those are more, $550 to $600. So it just kind of offers two different things. They're slightly different actions too, so they kind of fill in a couple of different holes. Our Heavy Stealth is a really nice bucktail inline topwater type blank, something that we felt like there was a lot of stuff out there that was a little bit light and a lot of stuff that was maybe a little bit heavy. So that was it's kind of a really nice medium rod there to go right in the middle. You can throw everything from like a cowgirl size, junior size bait down to flashers and stagger 8s and showgirls and that type of stuff for bucktails. So nice dive and rise rod, nice mid-sized plastic rod, great topwater rod, that kind of thing. And then the extra heavy is a very solid big bucktail, cowgirls and up, supermodels, that type of thing. And then plastics, heavy crankbaits, that kind of thing. Just a very standard extra heavy. So definitely one to check out. It's a nice price point for a rod that's a solid 10-foot blank out there. We'll have a decent selection of that stuff built up, and then obviously we can always build customs too for folks. So
Sure.
That one we're pretty excited about. And then St. Croix's got a new series, so they have a kind of a continuation of their Legend Tournament series, and they've got some new handle concepts. And then they've got some nice telescoping rods for people worried about storage. And then we're also carrying all the Chaos rod stuff too. So they've got some awesome rods, a lot of their longer rods, their telescoping rods, for folks concerned with storage there. And they've got some great blanks and options too.
Cool. Well, let's, what about the reels and stuff that you guys will be bringing?
So reel wise, there's nothing really new this year. The only new reel that folks might not have been able to see just because of the scarcity of it is Daiwa has a Saltist line counter. That is a really, really nice line counter reel.
Ooh, I can attest to that one. I got my hands on some in August, and I never trolled with them. But I will say, for live bait fishing, that is probably the best live bait reel I've ever used. Because it's got the big old handle on it. That's nice. You can get leverage. But that reel will lock. That drag will absolutely lock down on that thing, which is something that's hard to find in a trolling reel. And two is that reel, the torque is really, really nice. I use a lot of line counters for a lot of stuff, but the torque on that reel is nice. It's not like I think it's geared well because I've used the Shimano Takotas, the newer ones, and to me they're geared so high. They're such a high gear ratio that they wear you out trying to reel a fish in. So I just think those Daiwa line counters, those Saltist line counters, those things are pretty awesome.
Yeah, they really are, and even as much as if you're fishing with boards, you're clearing line because of weeds and stuff like that. Like you're reeling in and setting out 150 feet of line all the time, and having a reel that you can easily do that with is a big deal.
Yeah, no, it's one of those deals that I really like them. I was glad to get them, and I don't have the I think I might have the 30s. Does that sound right?
Yeah. Yep. Yep,
Okay.
that's kind of the standard size.
Yeah, and then they make a bigger one, don't they?
They do make a 40. The 40 is giant.
Okay, maybe I've got
40 is giant.
I might actually have a 20 then. I think I've got the size down. Mine's
Yeah, maybe so. 20s and 30s are the same. A 20 is just going to be narrower than a 30.
That's what I've got. I've got a narrower one. I want to get some of the 30s.
Yeah, that's kind of the standard size. That's the size that we stock. That's the quote unquote best muskie size out there.
So the 30. Let me ask you this. So do you remember their old ones? Their sea lions. They did a 27 and a 47. So is
the 30 is more like a 47.
Okay, so I have I have got the 20. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Which are fine for like live bait fishing or short lining. Those are pretty good. I'm gonna actually make 2 of them my wire line rods because I don't put those rods typically don't get a lot of line let out on them anyway. So I'm gonna use those for the wire and probably pick up some of the 30s for my other stuff. But no, as far as line counters go, but man, those things are great. I really, really, really like those things. They have the right amount of torque, which I think is huge. And they've got a good clicker too. You can hear them really well, which I think is a great asset. Sometimes the trolling reels, I never understood why the clicker on some of these things weren't loud enough. But
Right.
it's always been a frustrating deal. But Chase, going back to you quick, what's going on? I know you and Brad released your 10,000 cast series. How's that been going?
Been going really good. Lots of really good feedback. I think it's definitely, I can say this for myself and Brad, and then most of my friends that have watched it, everyone has told us that it's definitely an improvement from last year. And Brad has said this too, and I really wasn't as big a part of it last year as I am this year. We knew that last year wasn't like perfect for sure. Like we both were not very happy with last year's episodes. This year, I think we're getting it more nails in the coffin of really dialing in exactly what we're wanting to bring to people. We're definitely still. I'm not super. I mean, I think it's a great episode, but I think there's a lot of things that when I watch it, I see improvement needs. And Brad feels the same way. So I think as the season goes on, though, it gets even better as far as quality and maybe some more talking points. But I'm super excited for next year. We have one show in the can for next year already. So next year's gonna be more exciting. Hopefully, get more of the southern range. This year we did some filming in West Virginia, did some filming in Ohio. The West Virginia shoot was our first one of the year, and it really didn't turn out as good as we wanted it to. So we actually held back on that one. So that one won't be released, but we're hoping to get all over the place down here. I think there's a lot of shows out there, and most of them are more directed towards the northern waters. And I think a lot of the southern guys really want to see more content from down here. So I'm really hoping to bring a lot of that to life, as well as having the same Minnesota and Wisconsin and hopefully Canada next year too.
Cool. Well, that sounds awesome. Now, are you still doing the, with the muskie bumper and everything? How's the guide? What's your schedule going to be this year?
Well, the guiding is definitely not going to be my priority. I'm going to try to still guide. I've got a lot of really awesome clients that I really don't want to just leave in the dust, So I'm going to kind of work on this. I've told everyone that's messaged me, and then all of my normal clients, I've told them all that this is my priority now. When I get this straightened out and figure out some time slots, then I'm going to let them know and post on Facebook and whatnot, get the word out, and do some guiding. But it's not going to be full time like I was doing. I was doing 7 days a week if I could get the trips booked. Now it's probably going to be more like 2 or 3 days every 2 weeks, I'm guessing. So we'll figure that out eventually. I mean, if you're interested in a trip with me, you can just give me a call or just keep up with my social media stuff. I'm going to try to be a lot better at posting on that and informing people what I'm doing and where I'm at. So that's one way to kind of keep an eye out for it.
Cool. That's pretty awesome, man. I'm glad. Hopefully everything works out good for you, and you can keep the Musky Bumper thing is going to be a good thing for you. I'm sure it's got a great name, and I think people are really going to like it. Now we've got the Ohio Musky Show coming up here. It's at the end of the month. Kurt, are you going to be back? Are you still going to be in Japan? Please tell me you'll still be acting like you're in Japan if you do come to that show. I would love that.
Unfortunately, I will not be at that one either. You will see me in Milwaukee.
Jesus. Who's coming to Ohio?
What?
Who's coming to Ohio?
You're going to get to see Ben.
Nice.
That'll be his first road show, so be nice to him.
All right.
And then Forrest and Eric.
Okay. All right. Well, that'll be good. I can sit there. I can ply Forrest with alcohol and make him give me all kinds of spots.
Yes, exactly. Just ask him where all of his sand cups are. I hear that's a big deal up there.
Well, I will. We'll be sand cupping like crazy. That'll be.
Kurt, you're gonna stand out really drastically over there in Japan. You know that?
I've heard that. Yeah, I've heard that. I was thinking about bringing cowboy boots and a cowboy hat and just really just accentuating the American look, but. Yeah. I figure that being 6'4" and white in Japan is enough.
just impersonate Crocodile Dundee when you get over there.
Yeah. Yep. That little accent, the usual.
What? So who's going with you? Is it just you?
Yeah, it's just me, and then the people from Iowa, USA, and then obviously the corporate folks from over there.
Are you going to try to speak in their native language? Please tell me you are.
I almost think that would be insulting if
I think it would be hilarious. Just just go get Rosetta Stone, and then
the whole 11-hour flight over there.
Just listen to it, God, please. Oh God, that would be great.
At least try to speak in their native tongue.
Yeah.
That would be good.
If you try, they're going to gain your respect,
Well, it's what Konnichiwa is. That's Japanese, right?
Yes, I go to a lot of massage parlors, so that is a good. Yes, that's a good way to start.
That's just a go-to. If you just say that, they'll kind of know what you're talking about.
They get it. They get it. But no, I like sake. So if you want to pick me up a bottle, that would be awesome.
I could bring that to you.
That would be.
Gift?
That would. Yeah, please. It's they in Japan. They are good about tradition and honor, and that would honor me if you would bring me a bottle of sake.
All right, deal.
That would be great. But well, guys, I appreciate it. You're coming to the Ohio show, aren't you, Chase?
Oh yeah, I'm going to do a seminar for you there.
Well, good. Well, you better show up. That's what I'm saying, guys. The Ohio Musky. What now?
Oh gosh! I said you better show up.
I'll be there.
Coming up.
It's coming up. It's going to be who?
Tony.
Yes, I hope. Because
I seen a picture. Jeremy transferred a picture over to me of old Tony.
Laying on the bump board.
Yep.
That was at Musky Fest years ago. That was his. And actually, Tony wasn't hanging over the buckboard, so that was a wide one. That was definitely one of the wide ones. I remember that, him laying in the floor on a bump board.
I thought about blowing it up and getting it framed and hanging in the booth. I thought that'd be great advertising.
Oh, I would definitely do that. So are you excited working trying to, are you going to start doing stuff like different color bump boards or anything good like that?
No, at the moment, I definitely have a big, long list of ideas that I've came up with, and then clients of mine have came up with, and friends and whatnot. Right now, I'm going to just, like I said, get everything dialed in to where I'm working motion, and then I'm going to start playing around with newer things. But I definitely got a lot of great ideas for it to make the bump board cooler, I would say.
Yeah, I have a lot of terrible ideas if you want those. So
I'm good. Yep.
That's what I always tell people. All right, guys. Ohio Musky Show, January 27th, 28th, 29th in McCoy Center in Hilliard, Ohio. The Chicago Musky Show is going to be the weekend coming up here. It's going to be at the Kane County Fairgrounds, January 20th, 21st, 22nd. Make sure you check it out at the Musky Expo. Go to muskyexpo.com to find all the info on the Chicago one. Go to ohiomuskyshow.com to find out all the info on the Ohio show. Guys, thanks for coming on here tonight. It was a good talk. This is going to be loaded here, and it's going to go up before the shows start. And look forward to seeing you this year. And yeah, I will be talking to you guys later. Kurt, you got anything you want to promote or talk bad about? Is there any juice?
Nothing I want to talk bad about now.
Oh God, I love
We're excited for the shows.
I love a good scuttlebutt.
We're excited for the shows. I think it'll be, last year was kind of the first year, quote unquote, back at them, and so I think we'll be back to normal, and everyone will get to come out and see a bunch of cool stuff, and everything will be full, and supply chain's doing better, so it should be an awesome season.
That's what I say, guys. It's with these shows. I mean, I know a lot of guys are like, well, we can just buy it online now. But the thing with the shows, you can go there. I mean, where else can you buy beer, eat a bag of jerky, and walk around a bunch of smelly fishing dudes? That's what I tell
Right.
people. What
else are you going to do in January other than that, right?
Exactly. It's something to do. I mean, you can get out of the house. It's a great, like I said, look at it as just a beer and jerky show. And people love to come out. You're going to see a lot of cool things. You'll be able to touch it before you buy it. It's not like buying online. You can actually see what that looks like in real time, meet the manufacturers. It's just a really, really cool event. So hopefully everybody comes out for it. Chase, you got anything else you want to say?
Nope, same thing as Kurt. I'm super, super excited for the shows. We've done the Chicago show, Ohio show, New York show. West Virginia has a little Elk River show. Be there, Milwaukee, and then PA. So very excited to see everyone this year. For sure, come up and introduce yourself. I'd like to meet everyone I can.
All right. Well, that's a good deal. So, all right, guys. Well, hey, I'm going to let you go. I know you guys have more exciting lives than I do, and it's Friday night, and I have to do dishes or something. So I will let you guys go, and we'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks, Greg.
All right. See you.
Thanks, guys. See you.